Welcome back to the Dirt Life podcast. Today I have special guest Suman Makherjee. He is the owner of Elvaan Equipment Solutions. They're based in Ontario, Mississauga, I do believe, and they have a dealership in Alberta. That's where I live. And here we go. Let's get into it. I really like to see the Devlon brand being sold across the country, and you're the dealer for Alberta.
Yeah, we are the dealer for a large part of Alberta. I think anything from Cold Lake till down up to the border, we represent Devlon for Alberta. First of all, thank you for having me. We met a few months back. It's always great to chat with you. Um, Love the industry and love the people who makes it what it is. I have been in this industry for almost 20 years. I got into this industry right after college. I did my mechanical engineering. Always loved cat machines, back in the day growing up, and got a job in a construction company. And I was in heaven. I was in a big tunnel project, big machines and everything. And that's how I started. And kind of worked there for a few years and then got my break in a cat dealership in India. So this is where I grew up in India, right? So and
Mm-hmm.
I joined one of the big cat dealerships in India. I started on the service side of things. So I was always very close to machines, building engines, overhauling transmissions, working on field service and whatnot. So that's how I got my break 20 years back, right out of college, working for a small construction company for a year, and then got an opportunity to work with a cat dealership in some big, coal mining projects, and never looked back.
Okay, so you began that way and then you came to this country and what, you just decided to open up a dealership just out of nowhere? Kind of explain that
Yeah,
process.
sure. So I had a few stints. So after CAT, I actually joined Volvo Construction Equipment, directly the OEM, as a district sales manager, managing a big region for India. That was a time back in 2007 when Volvo had just acquired Ingersoll Rand. And so I was focused on establishing and integrating the Ingersoll Rand's road machinery business, as well as growing the excavator business. So that's where I kind of moved into sales. Did that for several years. Volvo was a new brand in India back in the day. I mean, they had been around, but they really grew at that point in time. And I think I did that for quite a few years before I got a break to join Hyundai Construction Equipment. Hyundai was actually entering India as a greenfield project. So I was one of their first employees. I joined as a product manager, but in a span of 5 years, I kind of moved on to become the deputy head of marketing in charge of training, product development, dealer development, and strategy. Hyundai had a phenomenal run there. In 5 years, they went from a greenfield to a $200 million top line company. And as I was doing that, that's where I kind of thought, I need to broaden my horizons. Kind of had a good run in India. So I started taking some projects in South Korea, in Europe, and stuff like that through Hyundai. And as I started doing that, an opportunity came to kind of move to Canada. So, we were just me and my wife, back in the day, we said, let's apply for a Canadian permanent residentship and see where it goes. And we applied. And then in 2016, early 2016, we moved here. So that's a little over 8 years back. Uh, when we moved here, obviously, initially, I didn't, it took me some time to get back to the industry, the typical immigrant story. I actually, for the first couple of years, worked on the consulting side. So I was with a firm called KPMG. So my
Mm-hmm.
job was to be an advisor to some of the construction companies. So I did give advisory role in the sales side, in the service side, as a consultant to some of the construction companies in US and Canada. Did that for a year or two, then I got bored because at the core a dirt guy. And then Sani happened to me. Sani was looking for a person to establish the Canadian operations. They approached me, and then I came on board as their country head. And this was late 2018, and it was a greenfield project. It was basically establishing Sani in Canada. They had a couple of old dealers, but the entity was not there. So I came on board, I incorporated the company, built the channel network, and in 3.5 years, we took the brand from literally a greenfield company to doing well over $100 million by early 2022. And that's when I was thinking of buying into some dealerships to kind of start this on my own. And I got an opportunity to buy out a company called Trenchless Utility Equipment. It's a company which has been in directional drilling for over 30 years. And the owner was looking to retire. They competed with Vermeer and Ditch Witch. It had its own niche, selling American augers and Toro drills. And Toro had bought out Ditch Witch, so they stopped their own line. So I bought into the company. And this was in May of 2022. And when I bought Trenchless, I actually rebranded it as Elvaan Equipment Solutions. Elvaan, you will see a dog's logo on so I'll give you a little background. Elvaan is the name of my two kids, Elsa and Ivan. So Elsa is my dog. She's my 7-year-old furry child, great lab, and that's her logo on the company logo. Her face on the company logo, and Ivan is my 6-year-old kid. So that's how our journey started. As soon as I bought Trenchless and renamed it to Elvaan, I approached Devlon. Back in the day, they used to be called Doosan because I knew they were looking for a dealer in the GTA and Southern Ontario regions. And we have been talking since 2018, with the Doosan guys, phenomenal guys.
Yeah.
And then eventually things fell in place. And I think end of 2022, we became a dealer. And that's how our journey started.
They're now owned by Hyundai, right? Who you used to work for.
Yeah, it's a fine. I mean, Hyundai, when Devlon decided to divest the heavy equipment side, it kind of made sense for Hyundai to acquire it because they really truly don't compete. I think Hyundai, they do compete, but I think Hyundai has its own customer category and customer segments, and Devlon had its own. So I think that's why they have kept the brand separate. You will see some products that are kind of white labeled and sold, but I think they just complement each other so well with the capabilities that they bring. I think the backward integration on the supply chain is only going to make the brands more stronger, more price competitive, while giving the scale that you really need, because it's pretty apparent that Hyundai Group through Devlon wants to win the advanced markets like Europe and North America, where I think Devlon's time has arrived. While I know the Hyundai brand is very strong in the emerging markets, it's definitely very strong.
Where are those ones made? Like I know Devlon's from South Korea, right? Where's Hyundai from?
Hyundai is
China?
a typical no, it's South Korea too. So
Oh, is it? Yeah.
uh,
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
the only difference is, except the articulated dump trucks that are made in Europe and the Scandinavian countries, everything that Devlon makes is 100% made in South Korea. As far as Hyundai is concerned, it has factories all over the world. They have obviously factories in Korea that I have been to, but depending on markets, I know they have factories in Brazil, they have factories in India, China. I mean, everybody has a factory in China. China is a market in itself, right? So that's how they are set up.
I love seeing these Asian brands kind of break into the North American market. Like for one reason, it's good to have competition. Like Cat's been such the biggest player forever. Like I like to have them have a little bit of competition, makes things interesting, and it may bring their price down a little bit because they've been quite high for quite some time. Um, what trends are you seeing with brands like Devlon in North
What
America?
Cat has built over 80 years, right? So there is definitely a personal connection that many people have with the Cat brand. When I see brands like Devlon, I position brands like Devlon as a quality-wise right at par with the Komatsu, Hitachis, the Deers, and even Cat, depending on what products you are choosing. The quality-wise, there is no difference. I think a brand like Devlon does understand that where it needs to do more is, win the customer's confidence that it can support the customers in terms of product support, that is parts support and service support and timely support. I think that's the place where dealers like us play a key role. I mean, obviously, Cat has very established players. So I think one of the things we definitely do is What Devlon's one of the core USPs is to make sure that the initial owning cost is low for a product of same quality and same productivity, coming up with much better finance propositions, because in this market where the cost of projects are expensive, having something like a 0% for 60 months does make a difference. Coming up with aggressive lease rates to make sure that even if you have some doubts with the product initially, you can return the product after 3, 4, 5 years, and maybe by that time you will get an understanding of the product. So these are some of the trends that Devlon is definitely using to reduce the barriers of entry. But at the same time, what we are now aggressively working on is on the rental path. I think there's definitely a path where not every time you can get a customer to buy a new product outright, no matter how good it is. So, getting them used to by giving them, rental options, rent to own options, demos. I mean, the best way to get a customer to believe what you are saying is to let them try it out. And we have seen a lot of success. Obviously, we became a dealer in the Ontario region first, almost a year before we became in, or a year and a half before we became in Alberta. We did see that letting customers try the machine has made a lot of difference.
I've seen a shift in contractors' stigma towards certain Asian brands because like they're foreign and they just think that they're made cheaply, stuff like that. But like over the last few years, many contractors, operators have been getting in these machines and finding out they're actually extremely good quality and like using the same parts as like the cats and like the pumps and drives and all this stuff, right? So I just like all these brands that come in and compete. um Going on to something else a little bit different here. You spoke a bit about rentals. Do you think the rental market has changed a little bit since
I
COVID?
would say it's actually changed. It's seeing a shift now, because when COVID happened, obviously there was an immediate drop, but then there was a huge supply chain shortage and there was a demand, the demand that was created. So I don't think the industry has seen growth that we have seen in the latter half of 2020 and all of 2021 and 2022. But this year has been a challenging year for the Canadian market. As you know, the markets have really shifted. This is the year I'm truly seeing a shift. A lot of customers are preferring to rent than to buy. A lot of customers are doing long-term rental purchases. Earlier, which used to be just 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, is becoming 6 months, even 12 months. So I'm definitely seeing that shift. I always said that the Canadian construction equipment dealership market is very unique, where the rental sales as part of the dealership revenue is quite low compared to the US dealers. I genuinely believe there's a shift happening there. I genuinely believe that you need to be more rental focused, because that's where the trend is. So that's the change in trend I'm definitely seeing that is happening.
As far as the machines themselves, like, is there any new technology in them that excites you? Like, why would someone rent or buy a Devlon over a different brand? Like, does it bring something unique in the way of technology at all? I mean, because
Yeah.
they all run, they all do the same thing, they all have joysticks. Like, what is making what you sell so great, do you believe?
So I would say one of the product that is definitely not spoken enough about, and I think it's a game changer, are the Devlon wheel loaders. The Devlon wheel loaders have a very unique technology called the transparent bucket. And if you use it, you will realize basically what it means is when the bucket is up, through a combination of multiple cameras and the patented Devlon AI technology, the operator can actually see who is in front of the bucket. Now think of that in a project where so many accidents happen because they cannot see, and the liability, the potential loss of life. As we are getting into snow season, just imagine having a loader, you're plowing, and you can see on the street how many cars are in front of your bucket. Nobody has that. And I genuinely feel that Devlon has been too humble about it. Like, this is a game changer. Like, it's like you can basically, you know the safety part is paramount, the reduction of liability. So I don't know why this has not been done before, but right now Devlon is the only brand in the world that offers a wheel loader of any size that comes standard with a transparent bucket technology, which means you can see across the bucket when the bucket is up.
I
That's
had no
and
idea.
yeah, there are some videos online, yeah, including some covered by I think Equipment World, and they demoed it in the ConExpo in 2023. It's phenomenal. I was blown away, and I'm a guy who has worked in Volvo and Caterpillar. I've seen Komatsu up close. It's mind blowing from a safety. Apart from that, I would say honestly, Devlon is just a tier one premium brand. I mean, you can't separate one from the other. I mean, I did want to bring up the fact that you said, yes, Suman, there's a general apprehension about Asian brands. I think it's a cycle, right? If you remember 50 years back, there was real apprehensions about the Komatsus and the Hitachis of the world. But today it's not there, or Kubotas. I mean, John Deere built a business model around Hitachis, right? And which is phenomenal. So every time one country from Asia, comes into the picture and they do a better job, I think with Devlon for a very long time they did well, and with what they did with Bobcat, and but I think now that they're out of the Bobcat ecosystem, it is just Devlon's time for people to experience what truly South Korean engineering is all about.
You mentioned something quickly about supply chain. How's your inventory and like how's the supply chain with your business? Like, does it take a long time to get machines over?
Not anymore, to be
Not
honest. I
anymore.
mean, if you drive through any the equipment dealer yard, you will see machines. That's the reality today. Uh, I think it has also happened because a lot of most dealerships ordered a lot back in late 2022 when it still appeared like we'll probably not get gears for you with a 1 year wait time, 1.5 year wait time, and definitely the market's corrected itself a lot. So, except a few specific models, we are pretty okay on the supply chain side of things, right?
I would like to learn a little bit about Elvaan, the dealership. What's the culture like there? Like who's selling these machines? How's the salesman? How's the office people? Like what's the experiences for the customer going into your dealership? Explain that a little bit.
Sure. So, one thing I would like to say is Devlon is not the only brand we do. Out in Ontario, we are also the Ontario and Quebec dealer for Aman. Aman is a road machinery line, very, very old company, great Swiss German product. I mean, one of the best that you can have. Aman has had a slow entry to the Canadian market, but now, with the right focus, they are doing it. They actually make some products for some of the other known brands that many people probably don't know. And I don't want to talk about it, but it's out there publicly. So
Yeah.
you'd be surprised to know that. We are also the Toro dealer across all the branches, including Alberta. So we do the Toro, Dingos, and all. We are the dealer for that. And we are also the directional drill dealer for a brand called Terra HDD. It's another Swiss brand. You can call it the Cadillac of drills, just the quality. We are also a Maruka dealer. So where I'm
I
going
like
with this
those.
is, oh, they are nice ones. They are nice ones. So, Elvaan is a typical construction equipment dealership having presence in Ontario and Alberta, serving the Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta markets. Our DNA back in the day has been this company came into existence with the acquisition and integration of two companies. So one is Trenchless Utility Equipment, which is this office in Toronto, and then we have two more offices which came into being with the acquisition of Jade Equipment Company Limited, which is a very much Alberta-based company. They were known to be specialized in taking care of the old Champion and Volvo graders. Uh, we have since transitioned into a model where we are still doing those graders and we are servicing those customers and taking care of those customers. But we have transitioned to becoming a new equipment dealer with Devlon being our flagship brands, followed by Aman, Toro, and Terra. Um, we generally, the branches we have, it's a typical branch, 15, 16 people per branch. It's a combination of shop tech, field techs, then we have the sales team out in the field, the back end team, the parts team. That's what we are. Uh, Half of the team is always on the road, whether it's the part sales team, the service sales, the service team, or the sales team as a whole. Um, the idea here is to we just don't do only what the brands we sell. A very core part of our business is actually providing service and parts to customers of their other makes and brands. In fact, what we take in a lot of pride in is there's this general perception in the market that a new equipment brand dealer can only do their brands, and they're supposed to be more expensive, and you're only supposed to go there to them when there's warranty in the machine. We are breaking that myth, because why we are breaking that myth is, once your machine is outside warranty, you go to the independents, and I have a lot of respect for them, but you're not always getting the best. There are a lot of hidden things that you don't know, and we say Elvaan gives you the best of all three worlds. So when you come to Elvaan, you get the rates, which are very, very competitive, the best in the industry for a new equipment dealership line. It offers you that rate for any of your makes and models. And we offer service and parts to everyone. And we say that we bring high quality, affordable parts, service, and equipment to all Canadians. And I think that has been possible because at the core of our DNA, we were a used equipment dealer. So we knew how to do things right, keeping the cost very, very low. Like in some cases, and our savings from taking field service from Elvaan in a day can be as high as $1,000 a day compared to some of the known dealerships.
Hmm. Um, Besides selling machines, like what's your vision for the company? Like, what's your kind of long-term goal, I guess?
See, one of the very fundamental reasons why I'm doing this is we genuinely believe that Canada needs a lot of infrastructure in the next 30 years. Most of the Canadian infrastructure has been built between the 1960s and 1980s, and there's a definite need to upgrade them. And it is our role to play in that as a partner and contributor to that. So our company's motto is helping build Canada for 2050. That is our motto. We want to do that by offering products through partners or global OEMs, we only represent some of the top OEMs. We don't compromise on the brands that we represent. So that's very important. How we achieve that is obviously, through supporting and servicing these customers. But the long-term goal is to have a pan-Canadian presence from coast to coast. That means we definitely want to grow. We want to grow into a billion-dollar, top line company over the next 10 years by having significant presence from BC to the Atlantic provinces. So that's the goal we are working towards. I mean, obviously, it's one step at a time, doing one thing right at a time. But that's the goal we want to do. We want to be one of the top 5 construction equipment dealerships in Canada for Canadians, and who can do it right at an affordable price without compromising on quality.
Who do you think is some of your
Our
competition?
competition right now is basically anybody who is offering a new equipment line on the equipment side of things. So it can be another small equipment dealership like ours to the big giants, which can be the big players, right? The name brands. At the same time, we are definitely a competition to some of the independent service providers, because we are reaching out to those customers and providing a much higher quality factory trained technicians with more high authentic parts and taking care of the service needs of those customers. So we have a mix of competition, which are those who are providing services and making sure the customer machines are run outside warranty, and offering new equipments from the construction side, that is excavators, wheel loaders, compact track loaders, rock trucks, to mini ride-ons, to road machinery from Amman, to the directional drill. So anybody who buys a construction equipment, utility equipment, and infrastructure equipment, or sometimes even small mining equipment, we have a product for that.
I would assume even rental companies, right? You kind of compete with them, guys who rent machines.
That is something we have just started doing this year. As we see the
Gotcha.
shift in the market, we were not doing rental at all till 2022, but now we are very, very open, and we are doing. Are we a full-fledged rental house yet? No. Again, we are very specific into heavy rents. We don't do aerials. We don't do small tools and all. It is strictly heavy rent.
what are you bringing that makes your dealership special in comparison to your competitors? Like, is there something, some type of magic that you bring that is passed down like from you into your company? Like, what does that look like?
I would like to say, being a new player in the new equipment space, we for us every customer matters. I mean, that is a very key part of our mantra. And what I mean by that is we make it a point that if somebody is reaching out who is probably an existing customer or a completely new customer, that we respond to them within hours. We don't make our customers wait for service and parts for days or weeks. That's one thing. So our response time is something we really take a lot of pride in. We don't sell in areas where we cannot reach within a few hours. The other piece is because we are selling very, very high quality products, I think we have made it a point that our acquisition costs are really competitive, right? And we believe that you know the true success will come at a later date. Right now, we need customers to experience the products.
How are you going to keep that same feel? Like, so I've seen a bunch of brands grow small and they get big. For example, Finning, they're so big now that they have horrible customer service. Like, what are you going to do to be different in that way? You know what I mean? Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
you're small now, but you're not always going to be small. So,
I think that the key part here is to know how you grow. When you are small, you need to understand what is working and what is not. And as you grow, the key here is to make sure that model is being replicated as you multiply, right? You can be a billion-dollar company and still act like a startup. It's easier said than done, and I think the core pieces will always be around four or five key things. I think if a dealership does it right, they can succeed. One is, as you grow more, you need to make sure you have the right person leading each of your branches. You cannot centralize that. You have to decentralize that. You have to hire the right person for that. Second piece is you have to have very clear service KPIs. Are you promising a customer service call within a day or within a few hours? Do not open another branch till you cannot replicate that. So that has to be uniform. Parts, what are you promising from a parts availability ratio? If you cannot do that, then do not open one. Pricing, you have to be uniform, right? And what I mean by uniform is, you need to make sure your price right. So I think getting that service and parts KPIs is the most important thing. And the last piece is training. It cannot happen that your Edmonton branch has more capable technicians and more capable parts guys or more capable sales guys than a branch which is way up north. Then don't open a branch, right? Yes, there will be some differences. We get that. So I think my role as the company grows will be to make sure if the branch is functioning properly or not. For that, you need to make sure you have the right guy in the right place, but to make sure that the DNA of each branch is 100% the same. And the other piece is a little bit of the reverse engineering, like I told you. Like, there are some really big, respectable names you just told who have a competition. You have to be better than them in whatever they do. Otherwise, don't do it. Whether it's their pricing, whether it's their response time, whether it's their policies in terms of anything that can be, whether when your machine breaks down, can you send a loaner sooner than later? You have to do something better. And I think that's the key part of it, to grow.
do you have any plans to open another dealership somewhere else in
We
Alberta?
do have plans to open up a Calgary branch. The timing has not been finalized because obviously we just entered into the Edmonton market last year, right? Late last year. And this year we're just trying to get our foot right into it. But I would say somewhere late next year, the idea is to have a presence in Calgary. That's a very important market for us. We represent Devlon and we represent Toro for that market. And I know there are some more opportunities that we can take care of. So Calgary will be our immediate focus after that.
You mentioned something about BC, so like somewhere in British Columbia.
BC, yeah, BC is not something I would say is in a scheme of things in the immediate 18 months, to be honest with you. But there's definitely a lot of potential in the BC market with certain product categories. Again, we don't represent Devlon for BC there. So that will
Gotcha.
be a different strategy once we decide to get there.
You'll just offer like a different brand of machine, do you figure?
It
Or
may be non-competitive too. Like we are in discussions with a couple of other major players, global, very known multinationals, to represent some of their products across Canada. So once those things finalize, the idea is then we can look at it. But it may not necessarily be Devlon or another excavator brand. The other thing Elvaan I think does really well, and this is something I definitely want to share. None of the products that we sell a competitive line. So when we sell excavators, it is only Devlon. When we sell well loaders or dozers, it's only Devlon. It's not that my sales guys is selling Devlon one day and selling a yellow brand another day. We don't do that. Same with our road machinery. We don't sell competitive line. That's a policy and that's a principle or strategy we have kept for now. We don't want to change that. We believe in brand loyalty, and that's where we stand today.
when it has to be right, you can trust Leica Technology to help you get the job done and grow your business with their cutting edge technology. Training employees is challenging and expensive, but Leica's simple to learn, simple to use products allow you to get your workforce up to speed much faster. Trust me when I say Leica Machine Control will help you move more dirt more efficiently. For more information on Leica Geosystem Solutions, please visit leica-geosystems.com. Let's say a contractor was thinking about going to Elvaan to buy a machine, even just to inquire or rent or get service, whatever that may look like. What type of relationship do you build with your customers? Not just you, but like your employees. Like what can they expect when they partner essentially with Elvaan?
So one of the good things is I take a lot of pride in the sales territory sales managers we have, because sometimes they are the first point of contact, right, in a new relationship. And I can tell you each and every guy we have are very seasoned. They have worked with some very established competitors of ours. And when they saw the vision I had, that got them interested to come on board. So one of the first things we do is when these contractors come is we try to understand, what requirement they have, and it's not what model of machine they want, but what project that they are in, what they are trying to solve, why they need that kind of machine and not something else. Once we understand that, then we rarely tell a customer that buy this one. We always say, okay, you know what? This is the machine you need. Why don't I send you a machine for a day or two to try it out? If you like it, then if you still need more time, maybe we'll do a little, low cost rental. So we always take a very consultative approach. We never push for buy this machine. I mean, sometimes yes, you would like to do that if they know the brand and then it's an easy sell. So they automatically build a credibility and a relationship which is very much built on don't believe what I say, believe in what you see, right? One of the things that we take a lot of pride in, we always tell customers that, if we are not able to take care of your machine, if you're not able to repair a machine in certain amount of time, we will find out a way to give you a loaner, we'll help you out. Or sometimes if you have a problem with your machine, we'll try to get you a rental. So those are the things we are doing day in and day out to build credibility. It doesn't matter if the machine is broken down because of customer's fault or there's a product issue or something else. We'll try any way possible to help the customer out. And because that's one of the ways we are definitely making a difference, because we know it matters. I think also the brands we represent, Devlon has standard 3 year, 5,000 hours full machine warranty on most of the products. Aman has 2 years, 3,000 hours warranty on most of the products. So in general, the brands we represent, they're not only very premium quality, but they have much higher warranty. So we make sure the customers understand that all they're paying for is just basically owning the machine in the beginning. And then apart from maintenance costs, they are not really spending any money for quite a few years.
It can tell you actually care about the customer and you're trying to actually help the industry. How can we get people inside of your machines?
It's very simple. If they can just try it for fun. All they have to do is give us a call at any of our offices, or go to our website. I think we have a really nice website now. It's very intuitive. Or hit us a note on Instagram and say we want to try your machine. And one of our guys will straight away reach out to them and say, you can come to any of our branches and try it. We have some trial areas, but if you really are looking to buy a machine, then we can arrange a free demo for you. You can haul it and try it out for a few days, and we go from there. I can tell you, Devlon makes some of the best cabs in the industry. So you'll enjoy the cabs.
Is there plans to do like host a operator challenge or like something where there's like a bunch of machines or people come try like an open house, but like on a larger scale, kind of inviting people from all over the place to come inside of the machines and try it essentially?
Actually, yes. I mean, the Edmonton open house was the first time we tried a little bit of an operators challenge, and I think in a very small scale, we liked, what the customers tried. Obviously, as I said, this is our first year of dealership. We only became a dealer in March, so this is something we are looking forward to next year. I mean, by that time, we will hopefully have quite a few Devlon machines in the market in Edmonton, but also we will have a significantly higher population in Ontario. And then we'll probably come up with some proper operator challenges in both the provinces sometime next year in summer, so that customers who are trying the machine talks about it. Customers who are trying the machine bring their friends who are curious about it, and it gives them an honest experience of seeing what a Devlon machine is, understanding its build quality, understanding its ease of use, and whether it's even worth considering it, right?
I like that there's been a shift in construction where the operator has a lot more power than they used to. As in, if an operator likes to run a certain machine, they can now tell their employer, I prefer this brand. Before the employer is just like, we don't like it, don't work here. But now we're in a labor shortage and there's a lack of operators. So essentially, an operator can go work for whoever he wants. So the employers now have to listen to the operator where they never really had to before. So this gives power to the operator to run the type of machines that they want to run, like newer machines. I don't want to work nowhere that has a bunch of old used machines anymore. Where I go work for this guy, all brand new machines, my favorite brand. You know what I mean? So like the industry has changed a lot for the good, and I think that's helping a bunch of brands that you offer.
Yeah, and I think that's a very, very good point you brought in. And that's why we don't sell machines. Any of the brands we represent, we don't do the deals in the customer's office. 9 out of 10 times when we sell a machine, we say we want to do a demo because we are engaging with the operator right away. My sales reps, my territory sales managers, sometimes service managers or technician is on the side when a demo happens. So we are right away engaging with the most important stakeholder after the owner possibly, and talking about a machine with the person who's going to use the machine, get them a feel of it. And you know what, this has been a phenomenal thing because every machine has its own little quirks and differences, and you get them to understand that. But Devlon machines or Aman machines also has a lot of features that even some of the name brands don't have it because they didn't think that it's needed, but we feel that it's needed. There's more features and we explain it to it because the owner is not going to operate the machine. So yes, the operators play a very key role. And when you give them a machine like that and you show that you care, you're going there, the team is talking to you, they feel valued. And then we let the machine do the talking. The machine performs, which it does, I think, in all the cases, they go for it. We have had operators who have said, I love everything about your machine, man. And I don't know, I'm just a cat guy. Everybody in my town knows me as the cat guy. How do I change that? I said, well, it's just a different shade of color. Use it. Sometimes a little change is nice. Or they'll say, I just like the Hitachi orange, man. I mean, what do we do? I said, no worries. Peel off the Devlon sticker and put a Hitachi if you like. But if you like the machine, he says, yes, we like the machine. So we have this fun. But I think engaging with them also, what it does is it is a big learning for us as a new brand or as a new dealer. there are best inputs come from these operators, and they tell us, can you do a little bit this, can you tweak this. Sometimes it's as simple as making some changes to the control valve when the way they want it. Nobody thought about it, and it's done. And one thing we have seen working with Devlon or Aman or Toro or Terra, their engineers and the companies as a whole are extremely receptive, and the time they take to respond to something has been phenomenal. And I think it's something that customers should know, that how fast the response time is. It's not that, oh, we know it all. We don't need a feedback from an operator or your feedback to make a change, or it takes 6 months and 1 year of red tapes to get over to make a small change. Changes happens if it's needs to be done. So that's a good thing.
Let's say after a salesman sells a machine, um, he makes a sale. What does the relationship look like after? Does he just like ignore the guy now because he made a sale, made his commission, and then just like,
Actually, we do a combination of a few things. So once the sale happens, each branch also we have something called a CSA or a PSSR, so the parts and service sales reps. We do a handover with the service manager and the local branch manager, right? So now what the sales rep does is the sales rep is still the first on the speed dial, and he makes sure that he's at least touching base with the customer once a month. Hey, how are you? And sometimes it can be once in 2 months. But this parts and service sales rep, the service manager, the tech who is responsible, they're touching base with them on a very regular basis based on how quickly the machine is used, because we all Devlon machines have GPS on them, so we know when the service is coming due and whatnot. So we'll reach out in advance and we will check out the machine. So that is also helping a lot, quite frankly. A lot of the large Devlon machines, actually, when you lease them, they come with free 3 years, 2000 hours maintenance package with it. So that's another great way to help your cash flow. But it's also great that somebody from the factory and the company is taking care of the machine when it's under warranty. So we are constantly in touch with them, and you know what? A lot of our customers are repeat customers. I'm pretty surprised at how many repeat customers we have. So definitely keeping touch with them helps. Even I personally, wherever I can, I actually try to meet customers from time to time. I call them up. Some of them are, a little bit more, some little less, but we do that. So that's really important.
I know I keep going on about Devlon versus your other brands that you sell. I just have the biggest interest in Devlon dirt machines. So since they come from South Korea, do they have to do or change anything on the machines for them to work better in our climate?
All these machines are engineered for North American market, right? Because there's a few things here. They have a huge customization setup. I think one in Tacoma, but a very big one near Atlanta. That's one thing. I think they've just opened a much bigger one, which can easily be converted to a factory. That's one thing. The second thing is, Devlon has been around for a very long time. The Doosan brand, having the ownership of Bobcat for almost 20 years, the local leadership, the local engineering team understands the dynamics of what American Canadian customers wants. So even though it's built in South Korea, it is built for North America. Most of the machines take care of that, and then if there are some local customization like special attachments and stuff like that, they are done locally. But the machines are not machines built for any other market. Those batches of machines are specifically built for Canadian winters, American markets, and that's what it is all about.
What type of buckets do you sell for the excavators?
Most of the buckets we sell are local brands, very proud Canadian brands. So
Yeah.
we partner with Grape, we partner with Craig and AMI. We also do a little bit of Dayquip, but mostly these four brands is what we are selling, and whatever the local market, depending on you need hydraulic coupler or manual coupler or wedge style or pin-on style. We are seeing a shift towards the tilt rotators. We have sold quite a few 5 tons, 8 tons, and 14-ton excavators with tilt rotator attachments. So we are definitely seeing a shift there slowly but surely. But otherwise, it's all the established brands and phenomenal Canadian brands that we mostly sell for.
I just did a podcast with Datequip, actually.
Ed is a phenomenal guy. Ed
Ed's
is a
awesome.
phenomenal.
Yeah. Do you also sell tilt rotators? Like what brand? Encon, Steel Wrist? Which
We
one?
have mostly done a combination of Encon, Gribbs, tilt rotator, and of course we've also we're doing some deals. We have because we've not sold a lot with I'm forgetting the name of the brand.
Oil Quip?
Not Oilquick. This based in Brantford, but
SMP?
uh,
No.
is it Tilt Rotator? I'm definitely losing my thought here. But they are
Yeah,
the
that's fine.
company that has been truly having a Canadian head office. But yeah, I think Canadian customers are seeing a difference. Obviously, for some, it's still a too high of an initial investment cost. We try to help them out, like we blend their rates and whatnot so that they can acquire it. But it's definitely a game changer with
Hmm.
where I mean, especially when you have labor issues, right?
Well, that's kind of all the questions I have for you. Is there some stuff that you want to mention or talk about? Like is there something that I missed that you want to get across to the viewers?
No, I think we covered a lot of topics, so thank you for that. I mean, I have been following your channel for a very long time. We met in person, and must say
We
what
did,
you're
yeah.
doing, yeah, it's phenomenal for the industry. And all I can tell customers is, this the brands we represent, we take a lot of pride in. I mean, the idea of it is to do it right, do it focused around service and parts, and sales is a natural process to that. So if somebody is looking to try something different but has some worries about it, but still wants a truly premium product with a very phenomenal lower operating cost, I think they can't go wrong giving it a try, to try it out, to test it out, and reach out to our team. We are very passionate. This is what we do, and we feel extremely fortunate to be part of this industry. This is something we really worship as a as what we do, and we love it.